Biz Today. I am Nazareen Ebrahim. This is your weekly edition of Everything Entrepreneurial. As you know, every week we source the best success stories to get into studio, or we find experts in the industry to talk to you about trending topics that will affect your business. Now today we've got a success story in studio. I'm very happy to have the Sales and Marketing Director of Green Office, Fyvie, in studio to talk to us about this very iconic Durban business. It is a KZN business, but you would know it across South Africa. They've made their mark as one of 13 leaders in the managed print service industry. Well, what is that all about? Well, I'd love you to hear their story and take away lessons for your own business. So stay tuned and get your notepad ready. Wayne, welcome to Biz Today. It's such a pleasure to have you in the studio.
Thank you for having us, Nazareen.
Wonderful. So I know of Green Office, and I'm sure many viewers do, from seeing the vans out on the road. Every time I'm driving around, I see a Green Office van, and it's sort of a brand you've come to know, respect, and you feel comforted by. I don't know why, but I get that sense.
Wow, that's nice to know.
So please tell us a little bit about Green Office, and then we want to understand your background also as the Sales and Marketing Director.
Yeah, look, I think the Green Office journey started in 1997. Okay, so we've been around a bit, and you know, we started in the business of remanufacturing cartridges, which we remanufacture and put back into the market. And as we went along, we kind of understood what the market was about. And when I say what the print market was about, and then I think it was in 1999 we changed the name to Green Office. It used to be called Image Tech, I think was the name of the business. And I think really our journey and has been one where we've really understood what the customers' kind of needs were and understood the print market, and aligned it to who we are as people and as a company, and really decided that, you know, we've got to make an impact in this world somehow, and the name Green Office obviously aligns to that. You know, so at the end of the day, the model that we've developed is one where we've kind of firmly follow what I term our purpose. Our purpose is to make businesses more efficient and sustainable, and those are the businesses that we deal with. So the model is developed based with that principle in mind, and our goal is to really do that to our customers and what we do with them in the print space.
When you first started the business, you started it a few years after the country had gone through a particularly important transition in its history.
Yes.
Did that affect the business at all in terms of how you did business or the outlook? How did that help you in the beginning stages of the business for yourself and the other founders?
Yeah, I think, you know, in any early stages of a business, you know, there are lots of things that kind of happen, you know, that make you do certain things. And if I think back to how this business started, and it was actually, I was sharing a flight back from Cape Town with Andre Joubert, and he said, look, we've got this business that operates out of a garage, pretty much, and you know, no one's driving it, and I just went and had a look at it, and I'm a firm believer, if you can add value to somebody, then they're going to want to use your services. And the offering for me was one where value could be added, you know. So you know, and I think people ultimately buy from people, you know, that they trust. So you know, the business model developed from there. And the principles of the business and what we do in the business is to add value. So it was quite a nice fit from our perspective, and anybody that's kind of joined this business, because I always believe, you know, people make things, you know, in the end, and the people that we kind of got onto the team understood where we were going and why we were doing things, and then it was an easy thing to follow and get people to follow. So yeah, it's been an awesome journey, and we've really had a lot of guys that are there to add value, which is great.
I think one of the first lessons from our conversation now that the viewers can take away is that people do business with people.
Yes.
And the trust is built from that. So I like that. I hope the viewers take away lesson number one from our conversation. What I do want to know is when you started the business together as a team, what were some of the early challenges that you faced that entrepreneurs now starting businesses will also face, and how did you manage them?
Yeah, as I think for me, challenges are going to be there, and they don't stop. And I say this. I mean, if it was all plain sailing, then everybody would be doing it. The reality of anything that you do, in my opinion, is that you are going to come across challenges. And I say this because I think people are involved. So everyone has different perceptions, different ideas, different ways of working, different work ethics, and so on. So I think in terms of that and answering that question, I suppose it's about bringing those together. And making sure that everyone understands why you're doing something, okay, and your reason for existence, and then repeating it and saying, well, when there is conflict or there is a challenge, is to be able to bring that together and say, well, let's understand actually why we're doing it, and if we're all on the same page and we can kind of see the end goal, let's deal with this conflict, because the bigger goal is what's important, and then you kind of deal with that goal, and ultimately you'll get through it, and then you'll move forward. Challenges are there. I think people would be fooled if you went into any business and there aren't challenges. So, for us, I think we've got quite a good way of working around those.
The team has been building the business for a number of years, since 1997. How large is the organization at this point?
Yeah, at the moment, we've got about 160 people in the organization. We've got a branch in Joburg, a branch in Cape Town, and obviously the head office at the moment in Durban. And for us, I think, that's been one of the nicer things is getting to know new people, and seeing how some people have grown in the business, from and I've got a particular story. I mean, the guy was literally a cleaner of one of the products, and now he's running one of the divisions. So for me, those are really encouraging things to see.
That's encouraging to hear, because of course your business is built on particular values which you started out with,
yes, that
you also channel through people development, which we're going to explore a bit later with Green Able, which yes, I know is an important part of the company's yes, vision and heritage. Over the years, in building the business in this particular industry, it's document and print managed solutions, corporate based. You're changing the face or the nature of business process in organizations to become much more efficient and also sustainable in terms of the environment.
Correct.
How have you found the industry has changed over the years, with a lot of global conversations around global warming and environmental issues, and people becoming much more aware of this?
Yeah, it's a very good question, and I say this because I think when you're a disruptor and you change the way things are done, it's often a lot more difficult to get in and penetrate and make an impact. And I say that because I think we're in that space, and for me, the thing is that people don't like change. Okay, and I think, in my opinion, that's changing a lot now with the younger generation. They move at a lot faster pace. They want change. So kind of that generation, the millennials kind of generation, they're a lot more fast moving. So I think when us as a business, we have disrupted the market, and we're on a journey to disrupt it, is that you're always going to be challenged because people don't like change. So part of our conversation and part of how we got to get this message across is through delivery and execution, and people saying, well, you know what, they said what they're going to do. And I think, to refer to your kind of what you mentioned in terms of values, for me, those are the principles that drive your purpose. you know. So instilling those values in the people that are part of the organization are critical to the end results. And for me, we've got a group of people, and part of our selection process, it becomes a big component, you know, because, you know, getting that right, and we do get it wrong sometimes, you know, but if we do get it wrong, we need to identify it early on and have frank conversations with people that, you know, maybe this isn't part of who you are or what you are. So I think really for me, you know, in the gist of it is to have those set of values, be clear on where you're going, and then get as many people on that bus as possible. Because if you've got 160 people all driving towards the same thing, you're going to be a lot more powerful if you've got 50 of them on that bus. So, and that's a constant thing. You know, I think we've got to drive that daily. That's part of who we are.
What I really like and I take away from that is the frank, open conversations that you're having with people. Great. Because I think with entrepreneurs, in the early stages, of course, also getting in the right talent, you have to be sure that those people are skilled enough, but also in the same mindset to be able to drive change according to what the vision of that organization is in terms of growth. And the honest conversations either help people to grow in their own space or help your company to grow. Yeah. So that's really an interesting thing to take away for me as well as the viewers. Yeah. Now, to end off this, before we go to break, I just want to find out and understand from your point of view as an entrepreneur for many years, what are the top 3 characteristics you'd find in a person that would characterize them as an entrepreneur who would succeed?
Sure, top 3. That's quite difficult.
Top 1 or top 2?
Yeah, and I say this. I was always a bit of a battler at school, so school was a challenge for me. And I
don't worry, I know Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, and Richard Branson all share the same sentiment, so you have no worry there.
Well, I've got a long way to get to where they are, but yeah, it's nice to know. So I think, you know, for me, it sometimes your back's against the wall, you know, and you think, well, what am I going to do? And I think of my own journey. You know, and maybe that's the first one, is entrepreneurs often their backs are against the wall, so they've got to make a plan. So I think, you know, and I think there are a lot of people out there that often are, but too scared to. So then I would say the second thing would be, you know, don't be afraid, you know, to make that leap. You know, I think so. You know, if your back's against the wall and you're not afraid, you're going to take a chance. And then I think the last one for me is guts. You know, and I say this because you're going to fail, and you're going to fail a lot, and that failure is just a learning curve. You know, it's not something that you should be afraid of, but it takes guts to say, you know what, I can get up and go again, and I'm going to make it better, and I realize that I've made a mistake or it didn't work, and then adapt and change. So yeah, maybe your back's against the wall, you know, you can't be afraid, and you've got to have guts. I'd say those are 3 important things. I might miss out a few, but off the top of my mind.
Wise words from a successful entrepreneur indeed. It's about having the resilience, not being afraid of failure, and just having courage to do what your dreams are taking you in the direction of. When we come back, we'll be continuing our conversation with Wayne Fyvie, who's the Sales and Marketing Director at Green Office. He's one of 13, is a leader in the industry in terms of print managed solutions. I think I got that right. And document management, obviously leading change in organizations. But we'll talk more about the organization when we come back from the break. Stay tuned.